Come on in, Paul. How you feeling today, Paul?
I am feeling excellent, Andrew.
Good, man. I love it. It's a beautiful Tuesday. Just wrapped up one of our student calls, and that was a lot of fun. So, see some of you guys that was over there. Welcome. Today is a good day. It's going to be jam packed with a lot of exciting things. So, I'm excited to share those with you. But before we delve in, let's get the energy up. What's your energy level? 1 to 10. Got me some hibiscus unsweet iced tea today. 9. All right, good. We got a 9 coming in first. What's your energy level? What's your energy level? Share it in the chat. All right. We got lots of them coming in. One of my lenders is calling me on one of our projects, our development projects. So that's fun. All right. Come on in and welcome everybody. It's a beautiful thing about real estate. There is so many strategies, so many places to make money. You just literally have to choose one. And that's the great thing about this community is you surround yourself by incredible people. And man, there is the side of the business that is, and you've heard me talk about and reference liens on properties. I love liens. When you get into the liens side of the business and you realize that there is a whole underworld of real estate investing on the paper attached to that real estate, it changes everything. So I'm excited to delve into a whole lot more. Today is going to be a good call. We're going to do a couple things a little different. I want to say thank you to all of you. I believe 42 of you hopped in, gave us a 5-star on the review there on Trustpilot. So thank you for that. So we're going to be sending out a whole bunch of gifts this week. So be watching your mailboxes and good things coming. So thank you all. Thank you for that. And welcome back to day 27. Day 27 of 60. Holy crap, time is flying. So what's our objective? Our objective is to find great deals, to turn those deals to contracts by solving the seller's needs and to turn those contracts to checks. That's this whole business. All right, so we're going to take quite a few questions and answers today because we ran out of time yesterday. Didn't get to near all of them, so I'm going to allow a little more time today for Q&A. And tomorrow we got a jam-packed day coming in as well. So make sure you got your questions. And welcome to everyone who's new, the new ones hopping in. Thank you so much for being here on day 27. So far, we have covered finding leads, talking to sellers, getting contracts, and we take a few steps forward and we draw back a little bit to make sure that everyone is on the path with us. So you're not here too late. If this is your first day, welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right. For everyone, let's go ahead and put it in early, Paul. For everyone who's not yet part of the Circle community, where we're sharing wins every day and holding each other accountable and asking questions and all the stuff you need, all the resources and connecting with a bunch of these amazing people and private lenders and everything else you need in the Circle. All right. So make sure you've created your account there and you hang out there every day and keep it active. Keep everybody inspired. So finding deals, structuring deals, and turning them to cash. Now, it's very important that we, number one, have 3 lead sources that we're getting deals from. 3 lead sources that we're getting deals from. And I prefer that some of them be inbound calls. The majority of us get caught up in one of 2 places. 1, we need more leads, or 2, we struggle with what to say to the seller when we do have those leads. So for all of you, I want to remove those roadblocks. Now, I'm going to be talking a lot more in coming days about how to dispo the properties as well. We're going to be talking about all the multiple exit strategies we have, how we do the midterm rentals, short-term rentals, the lease options, and a whole bunch of other cool crap. But I really want to dial in today on how we remove those 2 main roadblocks. Because whether you're doing deal 1 or deal 101 or anywhere in between, if you are feeling jammed up, it's almost inevitably going to be one of those two places. Either I don't have enough sellers to talk to, or I'm struggling with what to say to them to get them to a contract. That's the two hangups we all get stuck in. All right. If you can relate to that hangup, type in the chat, yes, or I can. All right. All right. We got lots of yeses. I want to make sure I'm speaking to what you need. So while we do lay out an agenda for these 60 days together, as you can tell, we continue to get your feedback and we continue to adjust course to ensure that everyone is getting what you need and in a way that's helpful to you. So again, thank you for being here. It's your day one. Welcome. It's just going to keep getting better. So we have lots of fun things coming up. And for those of you about to come spend 3 days with us in August in Louisville, we're pumped to see you. So I see some of you clapping. We're excited too. Number one, identify your lead sources. Outbound calls are going to be your least quality. Inbound calls are going to be your high quality. So write this down. Always lead with terms. This is my business model. Doesn't have to be yours. We have some great wholesalers on here. My model is I always lead with terms. So anytime I talk to a seller, I get the feedback all the time from people who tell me, well, everybody just wants cash. I say, absolutely. Everybody wants cash in my world too, except we always start with the terms question. The terms question is, if we agree on a price now and close whenever you want, would you be open to accepting monthly payments until I pay you off in full at an agreed time in the future? Another phrase I want you to write down, and I know I've repeated this multiple times here. It's very important that this is tattooed on your brain. It's a delayed cash sell. It's a delayed cash sell. All right. So the terms question. So it always comes down to the big three. When we're buying a house, we're talking to sellers. We're finding sellers who need to sell their house, not people who just want to sell their house, but people who need to sell. They need debt relief. The house needs some work. Maybe the seller's had on the market a while and they're just done with it. They're inherited properties. They're divorced. They're all of these situations that sellers run into. 401k withdrawals in the last 12 months, I just read a news article on this, are up by 40%. 40%. Think about that. Most of that is people who are pulling out of the 401k to keep their house from foreclosing on because rates are up and inflation's up and cost of everything's up. We, right now, have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to help a lot of people and to make a lot of money doing it. All right? So, number one, make sure that you have identified your lead sources. Type it in the chat. No leads, no business. No lead. Jack says it's day one. So good to have you, Jack, and welcome. Always lead with terms. No leads, no business. All right? So, if you aren't getting leads, your business dies. All right? When it comes time to get these leads, we have to determine quickly the quality of lead because we don't want to waste all of our time talking to sellers who don't want to sell us their properties. So that's why we continue to share these lead sources that we do. That's why I go on Facebook Marketplace like I did earlier here, and maybe I'll do it again soon, like I did here earlier in the 60 days, and went on Facebook Marketplace and just started messaging people. Because anytime we get team members coming in to the business, anytime we get team members coming in, I'm always showing them how to turn the crappiest leads to deals. Because I want them to be able, I want me, I want you, I want my team, everyone to be able to turn the crappiest leads to deals. Because now when you start paying thousands of dollars for quality qualified leads, then you feel it's almost a slam dunk to be able to close it. I'm not suggesting it's easy. I'm just saying you're already good and you already got the reps in on the phone. All right. So if you knew you could spend $6,000 on leads and it produced $28,000 back in under 90 days, how many of you would be able to come up with $6,000? Type it in the chat. I would. Get some interactions in the chat. Make sure y'all still awake. All right. All day, every day. Darn it, if you don't have 6 grand, you can put it on a credit card. I got business lines of credit. I can help you get it. All right. So if you knew you could put out 6 grand and it come back at 28, you would do it all day. Here's the challenge. We don't know because sometimes some of us lack trust in ourselves. We see it working for Ahmed. We see it working for Chris and Laura. We see it working for Mike. We see it working for Beverly. We see it working for Glenn. We see it working for Judy. We see it working for so many on here, except we doubt ourselves. And so when it comes time to make the decision, we're actually asking ourselves, can I trust myself? It's very important that we learn to ask these questions. We learn to the basis of the business so we can trust ourselves. So when it comes time to invest in ourselves, when it comes time to invest in the lead, when it comes time to do the thing you know you need to do, then you're ready to do it because you've already built up that mental acuity, that mental trust, that mental tenacity to know that you're going to make it happen. You're going to take whatever comes in at you and you're going to turn it to a win. And you're going to take these Facebook leads and you're going to turn them to deals. All right. So find some leads, find quality leads, and then call the sellers. The main deal points of sellers, at the risk of being repetitive, I feel this is very important. The main objective of sellers is to understand that we're looking at price. What's the least they'll take on price? You can write it down. Monthly payment. If there's a mortgage, we'll cover their monthly payment. If there's no mortgage, what's the least they'll take per month? And thirdly, usually we buy with nothing down. All right. Those are the 3 deal points of every single deal. Now, I want to make mention to you that if you are finding deals, if you are a great, what I call a great operator, someone who can negotiate deals, that skill is such a high paid skill. There are so many people out there, so many funds, so much money looking for deals, looking for great returns right now. If you have developed the ability to find great deals and to turn them to cash flow, there is an abundance of funding out there. All right. We'll talk more about funding in coming days. Most of my deals I buy with nothing down because I started out broke and didn't know there was funding available. So I got really good at getting nothing down deals. And so you can too. And sometimes there does need to be some money, which again is why I say you should have business lines of credit and other money available to you, other lenders, other ability to get that money so you don't miss a deal. Right before this, I had a call and the guys have a deal they just got. They had to put 30 grand up front and they got $110,000 of equity in the deal. So it comes back down to the 3 deal points. So when you're talking to the seller, I want you to these are the only 2 things to focus on if you're not already got deals that you're working on dispoing, is literally, how do I get more leads? And then how do I turn these leads to a contract that's a win-win? So as you're looking at this, don't get caught up overthinking the seller being the bank. Don't get caught up in thinking all of the pieces of the deal. Just get really focused on asking the 3 big questions. What's the least you'll take on price? What's the least you'll take per month? And usually we buy nothing down. And if they don't accept that, then what's the least you would accept as a down payment? Now, all of these other little phrases and script pieces, you're going to hear me continue to talk about over these coming days. It's very important that we dig into this. All right. I want to do something though. Paul, I know we had a bunch of questions we didn't get to yesterday, and I want today to be different because I want to make sure that I'm speaking, because I know we have about half brand new people on here and half very seasoned people on here. And I want to make sure that I'm speaking to everyone's needs. So if you could start reading me some of the questions, I'm going to take a little longer. I'm going to be bouncing the rest of the day off of those so that I can make sure I'm in alignment with what everybody is needing.
Sure. All right. So the first question we have today, Andrew, is when dealing with sellers that want a down payment, you typically say, do you need the money for something specific, or are you just trying to see if I have skin in the game? How would you respond should a seller follow up with, Andrew, I want to make sure you have skin in the game?
Oh, I like this one. So my objective is to say, absolutely, Paul. Forgive me, I should have explained. So I do this for a living, and my objective is that we turn this deal to a profit. It has to be a win for you, and of course, has to be a win for us. And so, let me ask you: if you feel comfortable with me, if I gave you enough facts to feel comfortable with me, would you be open if you get the price you want to selling this with nothing down? So immediately I take it back and I literally say, "Oh, forgive me. Like I screwed up because I did. They didn't know enough about me to yet trust me." And so if I can back up and say, "Forgive me, I screwed up. Essentially, I should have told you more about me." I immediately now remove that barrier because, well, yeah, if you could, and write this down, the if question. The if question is the game changer. I do this all the time when I'm talking to sellers. They said, I just really need all my cash now. Well, let me ask you this, Paul. If we were to agree on a price and I was to do a delayed cash sale, would you be open to giving me some time to pay you off in full? So just take it back. If we were to agree on this, if you were to feel comfortable with me and knew had enough information, knowing we're closer to a real estate attorney and everything is done above board, would you be open to the idea of selling without the debt?
And I love how the way you answered that, Andrew, is you didn't just make a statement, you asked a question, and
Mm,
you're always framing as well. Can you speak to that a little bit?
absolutely. I think write this down. Reframe the same question. I go back and I ask a question 3 times before I ever believe that the answer was actually no. The seller tells me, no, I need all my cash now. Oh, okay. Do you mind me asking why is that? Gets to the heart of it immediately. Because if we can reframe the same question, so we go from usually we buy nothing down to do you need it for something specific or do you just need me to have skin in the game? To forgive me, I should have gave you some more information about me. I do this for a living. Obviously, I wouldn't be tying up money in a deal that I didn't intend to close on. Knowing we've closed to a real estate attorney and everything's done right, if you had enough information to trust me at the level you desire, would you be ready to move forward with this? So we're just going to reframe the question. And I want you to understand the frame. I could have 17,000 scripts for you of all of my closing calls, exaggerating, more like 100. But I I really want to show you the frame of the questions we ask and how to reframe them for each situation. Reframe the same question 3 times. Very important.
Excellent. All right. Next question today here is from Tim. He says, I'm already signed up for Truca event, but could you tell us what percentage of the 3-day Truca event will be devoted to actual real estate investment strategies and what percentage will be more devoted to mindset, helping you to go out and get deals? And if I recall from our schedule, Andrew, and the agenda that we're working on, day 2 is specifically going to be tailored towards the unique bot flow method. I know day 3 will be automation. And of course, there'll be a
Yep.
lot of other items happening around that, but I believe Monday might be tailored more to the mindset. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. So Monday is preparing to be a business owner, or not Monday, the first day, whatever the heck day it is. The first day is tailored around becoming a business owner because in order to run a team, get deals, we have to be in a frame of mind. We can't go out to the marketplace with the mindset that we came in with and go expect to get deals. And so, and if we do, if our income ever outgrows our self development, our income will quickly come back down to where our self development is. Ask me how I know. So it's very important that we set the foundation. So day 1 is foundation setting and is stepping into your power as the man, the woman, the business owner that you are and are becoming. Day 2 is all about deal flow and metrics and actionables and how to make this real estate business happen. Day 3 is how to automate it so your business works for you and not the other way around. And it's just like this in the fact that we have way more time and go way deeper, except we continually take questions after each break, and we continue while we do have a schedule and a set agenda. We continue to ensure we're giving you what you need to grow and have actionables when you leave? I love that question. What's next?
Yeah, great question. Next question is I started using, I think this came through Circle. So I started using, need to sell my house fast recently, and I had some disputes denied because the seller wouldn't answer their phone or respond to text messages or emails. It seemed a little unfair to have to pay for the leads. Anybody else encountered that issue or any comments on that one?
Absolutely. And I don't know who asked this, so I like to keep it that way because I want you to take this very uh, correctly. So please understand what heart this comes from. You're right. They are very unfair sometimes. I've had them deny disputes that were ridiculous. And I used to get very upset. And if you're in the beginning stages, it can still be very frustrating. I now look at it and go, okay, I put 10K with them. I locked up 4 deals. That's $2,500 per deal. Am I willing, or whatever the heck that is, $3,200 per deal? Am I willing to invest 10K to go get that many deals? If the answer is yes, I'm going to keep doing it. And I remove the emotion. This is a very important note, by the way, not suggesting that you did have emotion behind that question, but make sure each of you write this down when talking to sellers, when anything, remove the emotion, because now I'm looking at it going, okay, need to sell my house fast. Didn't give me the credit that I should have gotten, for sure. And I made X dollars with X amount of investment. It's the cost of doing business. If I have someone else who can do better for me, then I'm going to change because I don't want to be putting my money with someone who maybe doesn't align with my values. And at the same time, I know every 10K I put in, it's going to spit out a certain amount back. I don't want to quit putting 10K in. So yes, that is a challenge. I would absolutely have a chat with them and just continue running the numbers.
All right. Next question here is, and can you relate, Andrew, to people who are trying to get into this business but do not have your level of desperation and poor health or deep debt when you got started?
That's a good question. So I want to know who asked that question. Let's see if somebody I know.
Let me see who asked that question. You know what? I did not
All
grab the
good.
name on that one. We'll get it though.
All good, brother. So the first thing I can say is now I love it. And find your purpose, I think, is the thing I would say. So write down this question for yourself if you're taking notes. Why do I do this? This is very important to know because I've had people who come in and go, I just want to spend more time with my family. And then 6 months into the business, the checks are rolling, they're getting a lot of money. And I go, how's it going? And they go, it's going great, but I ain't spending time with my family. I'm like, wait a second, that's why you got into this business. And so whatever that is for you, it doesn't matter. Spend time with family, traveling, vacation, helping those in need, giving back, whatever that is for you, whatever that purpose is for you that drives the passion, to keep that center first and foremost up front is going to be absolutely vital to ensuring that you stay motivated. The other thing for me, and this is, just be vulnerable here, I was made to work with a partner and a team. I love working with amazing people. It absolutely drives me. My purpose drives me, but I get bored as heck calling houses by myself. But if I'm doing it with you guys, I'll dial all freaking day and close every deal and send Ahmed and Derek to Vegas, whoever wins. So make sure that you are knowing your purpose. Make sure that you are aligned with that value and understand what makes you tick. Because even though I have a very driving purpose, if I was doing it alone, I'd be bored as heck.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And what's powerful about that question, Andrew, is that immediately when I saw that, it made me think of you, how you started out. There was
Yep,
debt, there was health issues, and that was exactly how at the time that you had gotten started.
absolutely. Yeah, that's important. I love it. What's next?
Awesome. Okay, we have a question here. One question is, Andrew, are you sitting on a tire swing? Not sure about that.
You know, so I am actually, you can write this down. You can make excuses, you can make money, but you can't make both. I am on day 3 of 75, hard, because I screwed up. I forgot to take a progress picture 3 days ago. So I started over. And I am traveling today, and I just left the airport. And so I Ubered to a coffee shop, and the best place they have at this coffee shop is a swing. So yes, I'm on a swing.
All right. Awesome. Okay. What company do you recommend for postcards and letters?
Yellow letter lady is decent for yellow letters. You can just Google yellow letters. There's a lot of companies that do it. Postcards depends. REI Vault, well, they sold out. I think it's called REI Print Mail now. Does postcards. Does a good job of it. They charge $2,000 a month management fee if you have them to call and follow up with the leads. They did that for us for years. They got less quality in our market the last several months, so we no longer have them doing that. We do have one of our community members or two, I don't remember who right off, using Arnie, using our automated follow-up robot, and they're having REI Print mail the postcards and the robot follow up with them, and they're getting on the call.
Okay. Next question. It comes says I have a $1.8 million home that is selling. It's 4.5 acres plus its shop that is on the land plus the other house, which is 3,336 square feet. How would you handle that?
Do we have a specific of the question? How would I handle selling it or?
Yes, that is said. This house is for sale right now. That whole property.
Got it. You selling it on terms or selling it cash out, or do we know?
We don't know that.
Okay, so I'll give you three answers in under 60 seconds. One, there's always the option to list with a realtor if that's the best route. It does cost you a sizable commission. That is an asset there for you that's sometimes worth it. Two, you can put it out on the market, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, signs in the yard, everything possible to market the heck out of this thing. And I'm going to give you a couple of ideas, whether it is a cash out or a lease option property. Lease option, of course, you're going to say rent to own your own beautiful home, bad credit, okay. You're going to have pointer signs from every main road in. If there's any Facebook groups that are this, if it's in a specific community, let's say, if you can go online and find the Facebook groups in this community, people moving to this community, these people, believe me, they're eyeing this freaking Facebook group every day, wanting to move to this lake house or whatever the heck it is. So find those little places like Nextdoor, the apps, the Facebook groups. Do a pick your own neighbor mailer flyer to the whole community. Do door hangers. Do anything you can do to get the word out to people who you think might be looking for a house of this type in this area. So ask yourself, just write it down. Where are these people at? Wherever they are, go let them know you have a house for sale.
All right. Next question comes from Jordan. He says, how do we get any leads? Every seller has an agent. I've not talked to a single seller yet.
So off-market leads are my favorite. There's a substantial amount of for sale by owners on Facebook Marketplace and Zillow. You can Google house for sale by owner, your city, and go to Zillow and find them. Off-market are my favorite. I always want them calling me. But again, if you message 20 people on Facebook Marketplace, probably 6 to 7 of them are going to be for sale by owners, maybe 10. And you're going to be able to have some direct owner, wholesaler, realtor, all sorts of conversations. So it's still getting in the reps, even though we prefer direct to seller and we prefer inbound calls.
Awesome. And of course, Andrew, you also have your free and cheap sources, which is going to your local restaurant, putting up business cards or putting up banded signs in your local area for generating those inbound. So lots of ways to get inbound coming. Kenji Mack says, with those two lots I was talking about yesterday, they want 50K. How do I negotiate creative for those lots?
Three big questions. What's the least you'll take on price if we agree on everything else? If we was to pay you over time, what's the least you would accept every single month until I pay you off in full? And then usually on a lot like this, I would be buying it with nothing down. Okay.
All right. Nathan asks, I'm in the middle of closing up an old business and building a new home. I was trying to learn this process while all this is going on. I've not started calling yet and I'm feeling guilty. My thought process is I need to clear the table before I get started. Do you think I should wait or charge forward?
Write this down. List your priorities. All of you should do this, by the way. List your priorities. What are your priorities? I call it seasons of hustle. I'm working on certain projects right now. And so I'm working more hours in the last 3 weeks than I normally do. I'm putting a lot of pieces together. Leo and I have been going hard, creating some special things for you guys. If you're in that season and you go, hey, I could still book out an hour or 2 hours a day to call sellers and move this business forward and build momentum, you should. If you say, so I think the reality comes down, and you know this, Nathan, and we should probably hop on a call and we'll talk about that actually first next week. But are you making an excuse to yourself? If you are, then go do the calls and stop making an excuse to yourself. If you know the reality is you're stretched too thin right now, so you're being ineffective at everything, then put this on hold for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but set yourself a deadline and hold yourself to that.
All right. Next question comes from Truca ticket holder Emily, and she says, "Do you recommend contacting FSBO listings on places like Facebook marketplaces if the houses are listed for around market value?"
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. Get them to bring that price down, negotiate terms, and or one or the other. So,
Absolutely.
all right. I think that's a lot of the questions. If you guys have any final
Awesome.
questions, put them in the chat. We are almost out of time here.
Absolutely. So here's the last two notes for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over more of your deals and deal structures. I have some more leads in the email I've seen from you guys that I'm going to be knocking out. I'm going to be settled in the place here in San Diego. So I'll be stationary and not in my swing in my coffee shop. So I'll be back to a more normalized office. Excited to come hang out with you guys, show you guys more real estate deals, close more of your deals possibly, keep up the momentum. So your actionable for today is I want you to write down what is your priorities. I want you to have absolute clarity of your priorities in life right now. Because if you are not living your values, your business is never going to succeed at the level you want it to. If you say your most important thing is X, but your time and action show something else. So I want you to write down your top 10 priorities and make sure that your life is aligning with those in the way that you believe they should. Tomorrow we'll come back, more deals, more real estate talk, more growth, and got some exciting surprises coming up for you. And about 41 of you are going to get a beautiful little gift in the mail. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time. Bye for now, guys.
Thanks for coming on, folks.